Hey everyone, it's Kevin from the salon. So tonight we're going to do something a little bit different. As many of you know, I do hair as well as teach meditation in the morning. And one of the other things I've been doing lately, well, actually, I've been doing all my life, is having conversations with the spirit world. Some of them have been my own spirit guides, and some of them have been relatives, particularly my grandma. Um, and she was a what they call a tasseologist when I was growing up, which is a fancy name for somebody who reads tea leaves. So I've been here this afternoon working on Maggie's hair, and she suddenly sort of asked about the readings that I do because we've been on the website and have talked about doing creative visualization, meditation, and how, to get in touch with spirits. For me, it's something I've always done. But because we live in a culture where a lot of folks think it's a bit weird, I haven't really gone out there and said anything about it or talked about it. But those of you who know me and those of you that have had readings from me know that it's something I do. So this is my very first broadcast live where we're hopefully going to talk with some spirit guides that know Maggie, and I'm just going to talk to her like I would when I normally talk to spirit guides. So the first thing we're going to need to do is I need to get Maggie grounded and clear with her intention. So what I like to do with that is I have a crystal that I like just for grounding. It's just something that helps me focus. We've already cleared the room. I've got a nice candle burning, and I've gone internal and I've asked, for any spirit guides, angels, higher ones of the higher registry to come in. If they want to come and chat, if they want to come in and get the vibe with us, to go ahead. So the first thing I want to ask Maggie to do is go over to. Uh, I've got a wall on the other side where I have crystal balls. Let's see if I can take the um, laptop with me. So she's going to go over to the shelf where I have all these crystal balls saved, and she's going to be put your hand, close your eyes, and then put your hand over each one of them. Yep, and then whatever one you feel. Let's see if we can get you in the shot. Whichever one you can touch them. It's okay. Whatever one you feel drawn to, warmth from, and do what? Which is your vibrant? Which is your most dominant hand?
My left.
Okay, so put your other hand down. Grab your left hand, and just put your hand on one of those crystals.
Okay.
They're all different. Some of them are rose quartz. Some of them are smoky quartz.
So this is the one I felt like I needed to grab.
Okay. All right, you need that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then come back over to the couch. Oddly enough, that was one I found locally here in Charlotte in a store, and the lady who I got it from um, said she could see my own grandmother in there. So it's interesting that I didn't tell you that, and here you go. All right.
Okay.
What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to change up the vibration, and I like to do that with a singing bowl. Okay. And these little singing bowls, they're usually made in Tibet. Some of them are hand hammered. You just set the space, put it in my little hand like this, and just tap the side of it. They're coming, I feel them. Oh. Hmm. So your dad,
Mm-hmm.
um, the one with the hat, the one that wears the hat and the mustache, that liked a lot of women. He had a brother.
Yeah.
And his brother was a bit quieter than he was.
Hmm.
So were they very close in age or just very close in life?
They were very close in age and life.
Okay. Does your uncle have a daughter?
Yes.
And is the daughter still on this in this
Hmm.
world? Okay. So your uncle's a little bit worried about you. Where is his daughter?
She's in Florida.
Okay. So he's worried about her. Where's your uncle's passed?
In Peru.
Yeah. He's still in Peru or he passed?
No, he's already. My uncle's passed. Like
Right. Your
when
dad's brother's on the other side, passed in the spirit.
he's yeah, he's passed away.
Okay. All right. So this is the uncle. Oh, your dad is just. Did your dad interrupt people when they were talking? Like you're
Hmm.
trying to explain something, he's in there with this something to say, like blah 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 blah
He
blah
was
blah blah.
always
Blah.
making jokes. Yeah.
Well, okay, and I mean he's got such his energy is like he's like the bubbles in the bottle of champagne.
Hmm.
Like the corks come off and your dad is
Hmm. Yeah.
almost like he's trying to direct the traffic or tell people what to say and when to say it. He's got such incredibly good energy, but I want to tell him, hang on a minute, wait a minute, because what is your uncle's name?
Enrique. I had several of them that's passed.
This is the quiet. Well, this is a brother to. I think it's a. Yep, he's nodding now. Did this uncle play the piano?
I'm not sure,
Okay. Did he
but
go out drinking with with your
yes,
daddy? Okay.
yes,
So
they had a
here's
band.
here's where they are in a place where the piano's going and they're drinking and they're having a good time. Your uncle is telling me all about what it's like, the party life, all
Hmm.
this, but he also wants to tell. Oh, I got the goosebumps. When I get the goosebumps, it gets a little emotional. He wants to tell his daughter in Florida. Do you still talk to her?
Hmm.
Okay. He's
Yes,
got.
too.
Well, this one is the one that's having some health issues.
Okay.
That he's watching over her, and there's a woman, and I don't know if it is his mother or if it is some other woman that's already passed that's also making sure she's going to be okay.
My grandmother.
Okay. Um, that they're just watching out for her. She's a little more worried than she would normally be, and what I get a sense of is here in the earth plane, she's listening to a lot of people giving her these health advice about the situation. Hang on, let me see if I can get a sense of what this is. Um, Stomach issues, the only thing that's coming up. Does she have a lot with her digestive issues?
I'm not sure, but it's possible.
Okay, so it's nothing. It's certainly something to pay attention to, but not anything that's incredibly super serious. And that he wants his daughter to know he loves her very much. Does she have children?
Hmm.
And there's one little boy that he's seeing that is very creative and very musical and into everything. Uh, and here comes the goosebumps
Yeah,
again.
I'm getting him too.
Um, uh, this little boy, how old is he?
He's got he's got to
Well, I
be
don't
at
know if he's
least.
little
He's
now.
not little. He's got
Um,
to. He's the youngest one.
okay. Well, put her attention into this boy because he's talented, he's creative, he's going to go places. He also wants, and here comes the goosebumps, he wants his daughter to know that he is very proud of her, what she's accomplished. Did she have a struggle when she was younger?
Yeah.
Okay. He's very proud of her, what she's accomplished, what she's managed to do with her life, and he wants nothing but good things. So it's almost as if he's coming in with this message of love and hope and connection, that he's always around her. Um, the challenges he's saying that she had was moving from one place to the next place to the next place. She never felt like she ever had a secure home, and he said he's sorry about that. I don't know whether the man experienced some financial difficulties that meant they had to keep moving around a lot, but he wants her to know he's sorry and he's really glad she has turned out the way she's turned out.
That's great.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask if there's any. Your dad wants to. Well, now he's gone. They come in, they give their message, and then off they go. Um, your dad. Well, what do you want to say?
That I am. Unfortunately, I wish we had more time together.
Oh, you do now.
Well, shit. What y'all doing?
There you go. That's real.
Yeah.
Um, you do now. Um, he hangs out with you all the time. You know he's there because he sits with you when you smoke cigarettes and there's no one else around. Um, uh, Sometimes you drive him crazy, but you used to do that when you were little too. He said you're very willful, and he gets that. You get that from him. That your mother has done a great job to try to keep you on the straight and narrow, make sure that you were not, running off and going all over these. Because you don't ever meet a stranger. That's him. Your mother wanted you to be careful. It does want you to be careful. It's always watching out for you because you have your dad's spirit of dancing and music and this and that and that, and it's time to go. And he's saying that don't ever stop that, don't ever let that shut that down. That's who you are, that's your spirit, and you should go out and go with it. um, that's all he has to say about that. Well, he has a message for your brother.
Okay.
um, he's telling me to tell your brother to lighten up, that life is not that serious. And if he's not careful, he's going to bring the burdens that he has that he won't speak about. He said he's got burdens in his heart, and he's got burdens in his heart that he won't share. He won't, he wants to present this big, not, it's not overly, he wants to present, okay, hang on 1 second. He's not being bagaga. What is that word? Like a big-headed. What is that?
I'm not sure.
He doesn't. He doesn't appear to be. Your brother's scared of becoming that um, fake person. The like you're more than what you are. Like putting on airs. Like trying to be somebody that he's not. That's not your brother.
Mm-mm.
But he does have some concerns, and that if he keeps bottling this stuff up, it's not healthy. So he says he needs to be okay with how things are, because right now how things are for him in his life, your brother doesn't think it's okay. He feels like he's not a failure, but he wishes he was more successful than he is. Like he has big grand plans, but they've not come yet. They will, but he just has to lighten up. He says lighten up, have fun, enjoy life, don't be so serious is a big message.
Okay.
Right. Let's see, what other questions have you got?
Does he have any like regrets that that he wasn't around as much as he should have been?
He says, he says he has a lot of regrets. Most of them happened towards the end of the life, and he felt towards you that he had done not so much damage, but he had created so much trouble and so much disappointment that he didn't want to make it worse. Um, that's all that comes up. But he said that once he got into spirit, and once he was sick towards the end, didn't have a lot of energy, and just couldn't live the life he wanted to. A lot, I get heaviness, so it was either heart, lungs, chest, upper respiratory, all this stuff, and it feels like he got to the point where he said he couldn't keep going, and I get this. It's either a breathing issue or just a lot of heaviness in the chest, like
He had a heart attack. He had heart like a heart attack, heart embolism, where it was
like a blood clot.
basically, and it was fixed. It came back, and then it was quick.
Okay, so so he's not telling me that, he's not saying this. I'm saying this. He had the opportunity to come back and get it put right if he just realized what it was like on the other side, because it's really something else. It's really peaceful and gorgeous and beautiful, and heaven is just this amazing place that everybody should experience it. But he says you got to be careful when you say that, because everybody's going to want to go. But that's why he went. And he feels a little bit awkward that he left people behind, but he hasn't left you ever. He gets to be around you, he gets to be around what's going on, and you can always call upon him. You get your smoking from him,
Mm-hmm.
and he says you have to stop that because you will also inherit the heart issues. Not right now, but you have to be pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking if in my head if he has any messages for your girls. He says no, not really, just for you, his sweet baby. Um, that's it. That's all that's coming up. Who else do you want to hear from?
Oh, can you give him a message for me? Can you let him know that I am so grateful for my brother? That I don't resent him for not being in my life because it benefited me into getting my brother, and he's my best friend.
Mm-hmm. There was a woman that was very pivotal in making that happen.
Yes.
Who's that woman?
My cousin.
Okay. Is this the daughter?
It was the daughter of the brother that you were speaking of.
Right, that woman.
The oldest one.
Okay, so there's two girls.
Yes.
One has a health issue, and the older one of your uncle that we spoke to earlier is the one that put you in touch with the brother. Yeah. Okay.
They both did.
That lady's got an old soul.
Yeah, she does.
And some of these family members that she has in this world, she has known before, and she chose to come and visit with them again. And they have been traveling the now the uncle's back. They've been traveling in different lifestyle through different lives many times. So they are there's something very close and familiar with your uncle and the eldest daughter because that's been this connection.
That's his oldest child.
And the same thing with you and your brother. Mm-hmm. It was a higher spirit that is attached to your cousin, not a dead person, but part of her soul, her spirit, that called out to her to make that connection happen.
And she made it happen.
When you did it, the same connection you have with your brother is the same connection she has with her dad.
Okay.
So your brother is somebody that's more familiar to you because of past lifetimes than the sisters you have here now. You have been connected with your mother before, but I'm not getting a clear indication of what that connection was. I don't know whether you were her mother, but there was a connection between your mom and you in a past life.
Oh, okay.
That means that you can have the most challenging of arguments and disagreements, and you do, but there is something about the connection you have with your mother that no matter what, it's all done and forgotten about pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's all done.
Yeah.
I don't see and feel that there's going to be any more bumpy roads between you and your mother. She settled in and she has matured into a place of it's okay, it's fine, it's great. When she would be very willful or argumentative towards you, it all had to do with when she was younger and when you were younger, and she had a hard time letting that go. You would just go off and do things, and she'd discover that you did it, and she'd be like, well, how is that going to be? How is that possible? And that's when she'd blow a gasket.
Yeah.
But she's over that now because she sees that number one, she gave up because she couldn't stop you. And number two, when she sees the outcome and who you've become, it's not a big problem. Yeah. Who is the person who cooked a lot? I'm smelling all these different foods and you have this love for food. Who is the person you spent time with that showed you all this cooking?
Basically, my mother. She was always in the kitchen, and my grandmother was in the kitchen, but she would sit in the kitchen chair in the dining room watching my mom cook.
So your mother showed you, but there's another person that's on the other side that's cooking.
That could be my.
It's not your mother because your mother's here with us.
Yeah.
Your mother chose cooking and food to heal. That was what she went in the kitchen. She did her cooking rather than open her mouth and say things she regretted. Your mom had a hard time when she lived in South Florida. She moved up here. Um, she's opinionated. She still has family down there that she was close to. But when your mother sees something that's not right, or something that's wrong, or something that somebody shouldn't be doing, there is a, oh, she is not having it.
Mm-mm.
So uh, she kind of like went like this with a lot of people, friends, and decided she'd had enough and she left.
Mm-hmm.
Starting over in the Charlotte area was much easier than having to deal with all of those people down there. But this is interesting. I get this information because your mother's still with us.
Mm-hmm.
She's still on the earth. And usually, I get connections with people that have passed on.
So
So
you're probably getting it from my grandmother.
well, now, did she and your mother have words?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so because I heard your grandmother said she's so sorry how things ended up between them, um, and there was one gentleman that your mother would have been perfectly fine marrying, but your grandmother didn't think this man was any good for her. Was not good for her at all, and actually, your grandmother's admitting that she did some things that she shouldn't have done to stop that from happening. But she says that's what you did back then because it was almost like in the time of arranged marriages. You wanted your daughters to marry well, is what she said.
Mm-hmm. I think that's my dad. She didn't want him to marry.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, in retrospect, I think your dad is wonderful as a spirit, as an energy. He just doesn't, he likes to spread the love everywhere, and we don't live in a culture where you can do that.
Yeah.
That's enough said. And he's just like this. It's just like, well, c'est la vie. He just lives his life.
Mm-hmm.
What I will say about your dad was he's not a disrespectful person.
Mm-mm.
I mean, if it's your time with your dad, you get your time with your dad. But your dad has got time with this person and this person. He can't be controlled by one person. And your grandmother did not believe that was right, that
Mm-mm.
you should not treat people this way.
Mm-mm.
She was disappointed, but you know, when you pass and you leave the world and the life that you're in, everything gets forgiven. You get to move on and lift and go on. Things are forgiven. What I love about interviewing spirits is that they come and they get to say what happened, get to say where they went, and it's almost like they get to have a conversation they would not normally have had.
I get it.
Ordinary, yeah, yeah. What else do you want to know?
I want to know about my aunt on my mom's side. I have two of them. One I was very close to.
What's the name of them? Oh, one of them's big. Who's that?
That's the one. That's Dee Dee. And then I have.
She's lovely. I like her energy, but she's a big woman.
She was big towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then.
Oh, well, when she was younger, not so much. Movie star quality.
Mm-hmm.
The hair, the looks,
Mm-hmm.
could wear anything, could walk in a store, pick something off the rack, put it on, and I'm seeing her in the mirror, just like, look at this. It's a basically, she's telling people, look, it looks like a sack bag, and I look great in it.
Mm-hmm.
However, she could not be putting all that mess in her mouth forever. And as she got older, in her mind, she was still had that hourglass figure, but she had put on the pounds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. What do you want to know?
I just want to know if she's doing okay, if she's watching over her kids and us.
Is there a boy that she had?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Oof. Was he a bit of a tearaway? She worries about him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hang on. What's her name?
Her name was we called her Titi.
Okay. I hear Dee Dee. But
Yeah,
you call her
it's
Titi.
Titi.
Aunt Titi. Okay. Well, okay. She's telling me that the son was the favorite. That she really loved her son. Okay, there's a phone going off. Hang on, because now the spirits are like getting nervous. They're weird for technology. It's okay, settle down. How old is her son?
Her son, he's got to be in his. If it's the oldest one, or the middle one, they got to be in their 50s.
This is one she worries about. This it's sort of rides the line of the law. Um,
I would say the oldest, I guess.
he has a bit of a temper. He's not happy. She's bothered about his son because the son is not. He's an angry person. She doesn't like him seeing him that angry, and she doesn't know why he's angry. She's just wishes he would lighten up, brighten up. It has something to do with a relationship that he had, where he put his heart and soul into somebody, and he really wanted it to work out. May be wanting to marry this person or did marry this person, and they really didn't treat him the way he deserved to be treated, and he got a little bitter, and he's never trusted in love and relationships again. He shut that down. Um, she doesn't know if there's anything anyone can do. He's just got in the comfort zone of being angry. So that's all she has to say about that.
Okay.
Um,
I know that my mom misses her dearly. They were very close.
hang on. Was there another sister?
Yes.
Okay. Is your mother and this other sister close?
Yes.
Okay. There's a piece of jewelry. Your aunt is talking about is it a necklace or a brooch or a piece of jewelry. It's sparkly. What I see is sparkly. Anyway, um, it's something that belonged to your aunt that either went to your mother or should have gone to your mother.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see if it's a ring or it's a necklace. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous necklace. Um, anyway, when your mum sees it, it reminds her of her sister, and that's the point. Um, she's saying anytime you look at some high end jewelry, were they always going to jewelry stores?
They liked it, yeah, pretty much. They like gold.
Okay, so she's telling your mother, whenever you want to think of me and bring me close, you need to go to the jewelry store and look at the jewelry. Look at the jewelry. Look at the jewelry. Go to play with the jewelry, and she'll feel her there present. Who was the Spanish movie star, 60s, 50s, 60s, that these two women wanted to be like?
Oof, that's a good question. I'm not sure. But they like to watch.
They dressed like this woman. They carried on like this woman. She's a very, I don't know who this lady is. Not like a Celia Cruz type of, but
No.
somebody like that. Somebody who was famous that they liked, almost like a modern day Oprah. I'm just trying to see who that was.
I don't know. Maybe possibly Christina.
Well, this would have been, I don't know, this wasn't TV times. This was before, like, this would have been way back. Like Lucy and Desi, when they were young girls, when they were young women, they were in awe of this lady.
I have no idea. It could have been.
She was a Latin woman, because I hear Latin music. That's another one. When she hears this music from this lady, this woman, it reminds you of her sister.
Oh, okay.
That's when she plays the music, and she'll just be right there with the sister dancing. The sister was the one that brought your mother up out of her shell, because your mother was pretty shy when she was younger, and your sister is the one that
Her sister, yeah.
this aunt
was
the one that got your mother more confident, gave her more outgoing, more confident, more, because your aunt was very, out there, like, here I am.
Mm-hmm.
She was very confident. She was confident after she put the bottle down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the baby bottle, not the alcohol bottle. And she showed your mother the way. This is where your mother misses her sister, but she can bring her around by getting more in the party spirit. She's talking about a car ride they went to somewhere, someplace, and they were in a car for a long time, and she's going like this. So wherever this car was, it was hot, Florida, something like that. Your mother will remember that.
Yeah.
You remember the car ride they went to visit people, and some things went wrong. Your mother just has to talk about her sister like she's there, because if I can talk to your aunt like this, so can your mother.
Okay.
Like these people, these spirits, don't actually go live in a planet someplace we can't see. They're with us. We just have to be open enough to bring them in and to say, we want to talk to you.
So another question I want to know. I mean, is my grandmother and grandfather? She used to always tell me, "You're special. There's something about you that's special and different." And I never could figure out what she meant by that.
Who?
My grandmother.
What? Be more specific.
She would just always tell me when I was little, "You are special. There's something different about you." And she would always say that, that I was going to be something really big.
Well, you
And
are.
but she would just always remind me of that. Don't forget you're special.
Right.
There's something about you that's different from the
Because
rest.
people told her that she wasn't that.
Oh, okay.
Your grandmother, when she was 5, 6 years old, used to perform for people. Like, not in a weird way, just like playing the piano, singing songs, reading poetry. She's very creative, um, and very expressive. She saw that in you, and she didn't want you to ever forget. You should go do this. You should never give up being in the spotlight and shining in the spotlight. But your grandmother was never allowed to do it because it was never a thing that.
Was accepted back then?
Right. Well, was she not a war baby?
Well, possibly. I mean, because I know that she.
Was your grandmother born in the 20s or the 30s?
Yeah.
In the Depression?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But they lived good in Cuba before it became communist.
That was in the 40s and the 50s. Because Cuba didn't go through World War II.
Mm-mm.
Right. Yeah, she was never allowed to become this show person, singer, entertainer, which is what she really wanted to do.
Oh wow, I believe that because she was all about.
Yeah, that's what she really wanted to do. She was in awe with like Frank Sinatra and all of those singers, and Las Vegas. Oh, she could have gone to Las Vegas. She would have gone. They had goosebumps.
Yeah, me too.
Your grandmother would tell you this so that you don't ever miss any of that big limelight. You have a big life, and this is the time to live it. This is the time to follow the dreams that you're following. Um, One of the things that you have going for you is that you allow other people to pick themselves up, but they're going to have to dust themselves off and make it happen. You shouldn't be trying to carry everyone in your bucket, because if they're not willing to go and fill the bucket up and do the work, you can't make them.
She had a saying about being in a crab. How did she say it? Don't be a crab in a bucket, because every time you try to get out, they're going to pull you back in. That was her saying to me. Basically, it's
Don't
like,
trap yourself in a bucket, because every time you try to. So, in other words, you try to better yourself.
yeah.
Don't be in a. Don't put yourself in a box. Because every time you try to come out of the box, people are going to put you back in the box.
She used to say that.
Well, that's what happened to her.
Yeah. So her and I were very close. So we would talk, share.
Did she have trouble with her own mother?
Not that I can remember. I mean, I was very young. My great grandmother died the year I was born, if I'm correct.
Somebody was telling her she should give that up. She should stop doing that. That she shouldn't pursue it. Would you please stop with that? He didn't want her to go into it. Because, the folks raising your grandmother, when they were coming up, women like that were seen as less than desirable. They were seen as, pin-up girls and actresses, and they were always almost on the borderline. They weren't glamorous to get to become these glamorous movie stars. They had to do what the studios told them to do, what the record labels told them to do. And your great grandmother didn't want her to have to struggle like that.
Okay, that makes sense. And as far as like my aunt, that's on the other side.
TT.
No, Chucha.
Oh, okay.
She and I were very close because
She sang to you when you were a baby.
she probably did.
Uh-huh.
And
Are you close in age?
no, she was much older.
Your mother's sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
She was the oldest actually.
Okay.
But I just
Did you spend time with her as a baby?
I had to spend time with her as a young girl because she was, you know, ill, mentally ill.
Okay. This is somebody who you went to spend time with when you were little. Your mother was okay with you going, I mean, little, baby little, like listen, year old, ooh, you're gone staying with people that was not your family, that you were little, like a little girl. You wouldn't have remembered it, but these people who were on the other side do. Okay, go ahead with your other aunt story.
So I just want to know if she's around me because sometimes I feel like she is.
Say her name again.
I called her Chucha.
That's not the name she goes by. What's the name?
Maria.
Okay. Ha. Yes.
Maruhania. That's her name.
Well, did she teach school?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my God. That is such a trip that you said that.
Well, because I
She's
see
gonna be a
a
teacher.
person, I see a woman very well dressed in a business outfit with the hair pulled up, dark, never anything out of place. This is a person who you follow along, and she was very disciplined. What do you want to know?
I just want to know if she's around me sometimes because I feel her.
Oh, well then yes.
If that's her.
Yeah. Do you feel like when you feel her around you, is she the one that comes to your mind? She's saying yes.
Yeah.
You have this gift,
Mm-hmm.
but you should keep using it. That it's not something that you should not question. Yes, it would be a big yes. And there's a man that was she. And there's a man she liked, she wasn't married to. Not that they had anything going on together. They weren't involved romantically. It wasn't like he led her on. She had eyes for someone she didn't pursue.
She unfortunately went through a tragic accident in Cuba, and her boyfriend left her, I think, either for her friend or someone she knew.
Okay. Well, that's just unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. She didn't. That was it. Done. Was she? Well, yeah, she had a hard time with that accident.
Yeah.
Um, for the rest of her life, she dealt with injuries from it.
Yeah.
Tried to overcome it. She has a strong spirit, a strong way of healing herself. Her attitude with "I've got this, I've got it, I could do it, I'm going to do it." She was very independent and very headstrong, and did not want people fussing over her or feeling sorry for her. The challenge with it is she became a little obstinate, kind of stubborn, and I wouldn't say not a very nice person to know, but a difficult, challenging woman to know.
She was. But she was very loving to me.
Okay.
And I got to spend a lot of quality time with her, which was great. I enjoyed going to see her. It was always a pleasant time for me, even though most children wouldn't think it would be, but it was pleasant. She had this funny, like almost like sense of humor where she would go, haha, over something that was totally inappropriate. And you just couldn't help but to laugh. And it was that, that haha, or she would call you fresh for no reason. Oh, you're being fresh.
Hmm.
And haha, and I love that about her. So it was that just made me look forward to seeing her because although
She's the one that called you special.
My grandmother called me special, and my aunt was just very funny and loving in her way with me.
Okay.
So I felt like I was very connected to her. And she was just a great, even after all these challenges she had, she always had a good optimistic personality when we were around. She was always optimistic.
Mhm.
But she would always throw in her punchlines where she would be like, haha, and joking and calling you, oh, you're so fresh.
Hmm.
So she would just say it. And that's just how she was. And I just love that about her.
Hmm. Well, she's on the other side,
Mhm.
and they're all around you. I think whenever you think of them, just bring them in. Now, one of the things I do know that folks think that when they do connect with the other side, it's like a veil, and they're in the spirit world. Folks believe that when they feel them around, they're around.
Right.
When they smell them, smell the perfume,
I smell.
smell the food, even if the smell's not, that food's not cooking or that perfume's not being smelled, they feel it.
Right.
And what this is not that ant, your TT ant is saying is, with so many folks being stirred up and leaving and moving into spirit world, more and more and more of this is going to be happening. And she wants you to know that they're on the other side doing the work of helping folks work out what they do next and how they continue. The way forward is to live your life well, to treat other people well, which you do. And she's proud of you because she says you want for yourself the same as what you want for everybody else. You want yourself to be good, and you're committed to making other people good. The challenge you have is that until the other people realize they've got to be for the good of themselves and for the good of other people and lift the vibration up, more of this challenging time is going to happen. But if you feel her around, she's always around, and she always will be around. You just have to live your life and get out there and do it.
Right.
Don't be limited by the fact that you don't have this or you don't have that. You ask for it and let it go, and it will has a way of coming to you.
That's awesome.
We have been talking here now for over 42 minutes, and I do think it's time to wrap this up. Yep. It seems like time goes by. Yeah, I think it's time to wrap this reading up. Yeah, we could do this again sometime. It was the first time I did it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting some of Maggie's spirit friends, and I thank them for coming and talking with us. So if you'd like to learn more, I'm sure I will get on here and do some more with you, with people, interview with spirits. So thanks so much for tuning in and listening, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good evening. Bye.
That was